Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation coach under the sun. Reason why there's no such coaching program like my coaching program, and nobody but nobody spends as much time with and on their clients like I do. True story. All the information for me is below. I coach with different packages depending upon the kind of personality you have, the kind of schedule you have. You can do it via audio exchange, you can do it via Zoom sessions, and you can also do it via phone calls, of course, of which there are two kinds. Okay, if before committing to me for a monthly basis, you need to make up your mind after watching several of my videos / audios, you can hire me for an hour, the cost of which I can apply to the monthly package. I do recommend you spend 2 to 3 months with me minimum in order for me to be able to complete my coaching program with you. Okay, I do a very thorough job, and after me, you will never need another coach again. True story still. The frequency with which I interact with every single one of my clients, is 2 to 3 times per week. This again does not exist. If it does, it's a copycat, okay, that is literally copying from me. And I will dedicate another video another time when I can to people who are copying me. Don't worry, it's coming. They've brought it up on themselves, but literally the way that I coach has never existed, and simply because I came up with it. Okay, I saw what was out there 10-15 years ago, and up until I started doing that, nobody was doing that. True story still, because I've done my research very thoroughly. I wanted it to be like nothing else out there, so that I truly make a difference and I don't put like a tiny little band-aid on a huge wound. And so every single person that came out of my coaching will tell you that I'm very, very thorough, and I demand that you show up to work and that you're humble and honest about everything so that we can really do some work, okay? In order to be in coaching with me, you need to book, sign the coaching agreement, and get ready to rock and roll. Speaking of copycats, okay, I can't help myself, all right? I thought I was not going to say this before I go into my subject, but the other day somebody sent me yet another video by Sammy Ingram. This girl, here's a really bright example, because my clients want to know like what I think about things, people, other coaches, that is, and teachings. And listen, this girl has just not done her research. That's all it really comes down to. And honestly, it's really sad, all right? Because she's not the only one. No idea what she's talking about. It shows, okay? No idea how to coach people. You don't coach people with emails, newsflash, okay? And repeating robotic affirmations, I'm sorry, but that's absolutely idiotic and stupid, and you clearly don't know what you're talking about. Okay, and let me really quick explain why. Okay, please be very careful when you choose your coach, because what works for her, okay, parenthesis here, in her personal life, you don't know her story, you don't know her shebang. What works for her may not work for everybody. I'm looking for a method that works for everybody 99% of the time. Okay, should be your success rate, at the very least 85. Okay, so if it doesn't apply, there's a reason, okay, why people affirm and get absolutely fucking nothing, or get something and it's very short-lived. Okay, so if your system is not designed to accept this affirmation, it will spit it out and it will never work. It's very simple. So instead of picking an affirmation or 2 or 300, it really doesn't matter. The big picture is what you need to focus on. Your belief system, your personal story. Don't look for a quick fix. Please trust me when I tell you, you'll end up paying more money to more coaches rather than, putting together a sum of money that will really get you a coach that knows what the fuck they're talking about and what the fuck they're doing. Seriously though. And so all of these, which is why I say all of these subscribers, all of these like people, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, first of all, truth is not for everybody, okay? It seems like. You look at people like Bentinho Massaro, for example, who has 100,000 subscribers, and he's been at it since he's like, I don't know, 18 or something. He's in his 30s now. He doesn't give a fuck about that. He has a clientele that, would any of these fucking coaches on the internet would die to have, okay? And yet, he doesn't if you want to be coached by him, literally, you will have to, spend a lot more money, okay, than you can possibly imagine right now, because he doesn't even advertise it, okay? That's how fucking good he is, okay? And there are many others, like, not too many, but there are a few others like him who literally do it privately. This used to be me. I came on YouTube solely because I really saw what a shit show it was, okay? And around COVID, I mean, something within me was like, let me start a channel sharing like things so that they can help people. So the subscriber shit, drop that illusion. It's not for everybody to hear what it really is about, the truth, and what really works, okay? And that's literally coming from the heart of somebody who like 15 years ago was looking for a good coach, okay? And parenthesis here, I still very much have my clientele from before. I'm just telling you that this is not done this way, okay? You need to really understand that a good coach is really hard to come by. That's number one, okay? And what it really means is that while you're fascinated by subscribers and the numbers of comments, you really need to pay attention what resonates with you. Another thing, okay, and then I promise I will stop, but really, I just feel it in my heart to tell this to people who really just fall for this shit show over and over again, okay? And it's like, look, if you come into my coaching, fantastic. What I really meant to say is like, I'm more than set, in terms of money. I don't really do this for money. I do this for pleasure of helping people. Do I deserve to be paid? Obviously. I mean, of course, I provide a service. But what I really mean to say is that don't fall for the shit that doesn't work. Another situation is when people pay like some kind of a tier of membership where you get to ask questions and you get the sacred knowledge that otherwise you wouldn't stumble upon. Okay, it's maybe like $70, $100 and this and that. It's not really about the money, but I think it's the promise that it makes is bullshit. Okay, first of all, why do you have to pay to get a question answered in live? I do it for free on purpose so that people can get a sense of my personality and what I have to offer, the kind of vibration I radiate, right? So that's one. And two, these promises that your life will revolutionize itself when you're not communicating one-on-one with the coach, bullshit. All this knowledge, if you read enough books, you can accumulate it yourself. The coach comes in, okay? When you really need help person to person, personally, okay? You can read the books on your own merry fucking time. You need a person, a guy or a girl who resonates with you and who literally helps you fix shit in a considerably short period of time, not years, as it were, and deigns to show up with some knowledge that will be accurate, okay, for you and will be instrumental for you to revolutionize your life, not some generic bullshit you can buy like a course and this and that. Toss that shit in the trash. Never buy a course like that. You better off buying a book, honestly though, by somebody who's actually wrote about something that actually they lived, okay? And the last thing I'm going to say, and this is all useful information for all of you, the other thing that is really prevalent on the internet that is really boiling my blood and really is so destructive and so misconstrued is the narcissistic situation channels. Okay, so if you want to change somebody, you can change anybody. Yes, you can. If you don't want to, if there's too much trauma panorama that happened, then you don't have to. Okay, but the idea is of this like situation that there's some kind of like demon and they're so powerful and all this. Are you kidding me? Narcissists are the most frail, deranged, completely weak, powerless people. And they're showing to you a part of something you haven't let go of. Let's just start my subject, okay? And yes, this is a very long intro, but I don't give a fuck. I really want everybody to know what they need to know to make an informed decision and to really change your life for real. The subject of today is your SP is your mirror. Your whole world is your mirror, right? So if you have a narcissistic parent, which, hello, how are you? I do have one. Why? That's just what I chose, I guess, before I landed on this earth, and to teach me things. And by God, have I, learned a lot. Now, I didn't care to change my mother. I didn't, I don't live in the same country with her. And so she's over there, I'm over here, I'm very content. I don't necessarily want to have interactions with her, and it works. If I wanted to, yeah, I possibly could. But my energy, is distributed in other ways that, really give me a lot more joy than interacting with this woman that I have far too many memories with. And again, in the case of SP, that could be the exactly same scenario where you have too much shit that you already remember. And while I do not harbor any hate towards her, I never did. I just never understood her. I didn't understand why she has to be so crazy, parenthesis here. And so there was a time where that was completely hidden from me. Okay, I'm just going to speak from my point of view, where how she affected me and what kinds of messages she had me believe about myself, me believe about relationships. And I was not aware of that. And this is what I do in coaching day in and day out, where it was literally affecting me so much so, where I was putting up with bullshit that I shouldn't have in my relationships, okay? Just one thing after another. And it's not like I didn't see it, right? It's staring you in the face usually. But most importantly, you don't understand why you even attract these people, why you even manifest these people. And for me, the solution came about in my late 20s, like I speak on my channel. And I realized this was my mother, that I no longer harbor. I never really hated her at all. But again, I was just confused why she would act this way. And so I needed to reconstruct my belief system around relationships, but completely. And I'm so fucking happy that I did that, amongst other things, okay, amongst other situations that I really wanted to work on, okay? Because today I get to help a lot of people. But the thing was, up until that time, I really struggled with understanding what the fuck was happening in my life. Okay? I really struggled. Why is it that every guy that shows up in my life literally behaves like my mother? Okay, literally, like, what the fuck is going on? And so until you fix this understanding of I'm believing about myself something that's clearly outpicturing in my life, and once I fix it, no other narcissist, no other crazy person has to show up in my life. This is what I really mean by your SP is your mirror, your world is your mirror. And that doesn't get fixed by a fucking online course or somebody who claims that affirmations are, the ultimate way to manifest. The ultimate way to manifest is becoming a different person, having a different emotional makeup. Okay, some of these things, like I said, you may not even be aware of that they're going on in the back of your mind until you start examining things. And that, again, takes a professional who's done it for a number of times and knows exactly what they're doing. Okay, and really guides you through these things like a mirror. Okay, I'm a very good mirror, amongst other things, and a real coach who knows what they're doing should really be a good mirror. Look at what I see. Okay, and that's another thing, in my coaching, be prepared to hear some truth. If you're not ready for the truth, listen, you're just not ready to change your life, period, the end. There's some people, not too many, one or two, I would say, that showed up in my coaching from YouTube. And, they were like all gaga over me in the beginning. Oh my God, you're so amazing. You're so amazing. I love your channel. You're so amazing. But once it came to me telling them the truth about what I thought about their situation and where it's coming from, I was no longer so amazing. It suddenly became very kind of like offensive towards them. But this is the thing. My job is to tell you the truth. My job is to point out the obvious of what you need to fix. Otherwise, back to square one you go, okay? Your world is consisting of emotional makeup, like I said. So whatever it is you feel about money, let's just say, okay, money has a very distinctive emotion for a lot of people. It's usually a story of lack. Okay, for the majority of people, it's usually a story of lack. It's usually a story of envy, very bad emotion. It's usually a story of competition. It's usually a story of, I gotta like work my ass off to get money. None of this is true. Like, none of this is true. And I gave this example in my last live, where I really meant to say that up until I quit my modeling, my working career, if you want, or my working days were misery, absolute misery. I only became a model because it paid good, okay? And I got this job. My first job was when I was 15. When I was 25, I quit and never looked back, okay? And I decided at that point that I'm going to be just like my friends, who I made a lot of very nice friends in the industry. The industry is okay. I just didn't like modeling. Photographers, other models, stylists, this and that, who had a spectacular lifestyle. Okay, they worked some of the time, but some of the time they really fucking didn't. And they were in charge of their time, essentially, but also made way more money than I ever did, okay, at that point. And so clearly they had it correct and I didn't, because I was working all the fucking time. Like, literally, today I work all the time because I fucking love it. Not because of the money. You see the difference when you're motivated by money alone, right? Which is why the copycats it will never last, okay? Because you're motivated by money. You need to be motivated by love. And clearly with modeling, I was not motivated by love. It was just like, give me my money and get me the fuck out of here already, okay? When I became, excuse me there. When I became motivated by love and not by money, my whole entire world changed, because my energy now around money was love. Love, 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 love. I loved everything I did, and since then, my life has never been the same, but never. Okay, I always got the money I wanted or needed at that moment. Miracles showed up, this and any other. It is a completely different situation. Okay, I started businesses. I met people I never thought I'd meet, etc., etc. My coaching business kind of was born around that time, etc., etc. And so that's the whole distinction around the emotionality that situation carries for you. If in relationships you have certain insecurities and certain fears, this person that's going to show up in your world is going to reflect it back to you. Right? So it's how you treat yourself energetically on the inside, the kinds of ideas that you have on the inside. Okay? You can't wish them away by affirmations. You just can't. You need to look at what it is that you believe. You really need to process, who the fuck told me this lie, first of all? And how long have I been believing this shit? Okay? There are many things that my exes, for example, told me about my character, about the way I look, if you can believe it. Today, I would seriously not even look their way again if somebody told me something like this. And don't worry, okay? I know you have a similar story and this and that, but so do I. I mean, one time I went on a date with somebody, and this guy literally told me how ugly I was, okay, after the date. He didn't have the guts to tell me it in the face. After the fact, he, wrote a whole paragraph about how unattractive I was. And at the time, I really took it to heart. I mean, I was kind of like, I think he's confused. But nevertheless, it kind of hit me hard, and I was really upset for a couple of days. Today, I'd be like, I think you need fucking glasses or some shit. I think your mama dropped you when you were little and you never recovered. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. That's the thing. People show up and show us our insecurities, which I had. Don't get me wrong. Today, I have zero insecurities. I don't give a shit. Seriously, because I know exactly who I am. Part of it is getting older, don't get me wrong, which I love getting older, only in the numbers, okay, not physically. it's a wonderful thing that happens. You just stop giving a shit somehow. I'm sorry. I'm in a mood today. I think it's the fucking eclipse. Everybody's eclipsing today. In their own way. Oh my god, now I can't stop laughing. Hold on. But when you have this totally new vision of yourself, totally new understanding of yourself, and you can separate yourself from what other people are saying about you, okay? Because clearly you have a fucking mirror at home, etc., etc., and then you can start forming your own opinions about, what's what. And parenthesis here, being attractive, what's that? Okay? Everybody's attractive from the inside out. That's one thing. When you become confident, when you become treating yourself in a very loving way, not paying attention to what others think, somehow you become more attractive. And I mean it like literally and figuratively. You become more beautiful because you don't stress out about other people's bullshit so much. And you're attractive to different people for different reasons because you just stopped giving a shit and giving away your power so much. You see, and so that way, like today, this would never happen to me. I guarantee you that. I can come out without any makeup into the street and people still stare at me. Okay? To me, I look like shit. To them, I look like a supermodel. I don't know. They must be staring at me for that reason. But essentially, it's like, well, I didn't really mean I look like shit. I just don't have any makeup on. I don't look like my very best. I don't look camera ready. But they think I look great because they're looking at me. And that had to change for me. What I thought about me had to change for me. And this is exactly what you need to work on with your SPs, with your money, with your everything. Nobody's going to tell you in your, everyday life, what to think of you. You are going to tell yourself what to think of you. It's a very little kind of like company. You're the CEO of a company of one. Everybody else is an employee, okay? And I really mean everybody, okay? I'll give you this example, parenthesis here. And this is how, when you get into the parallel realities, okay? This is how it works, because when you love yourself, you offer yourself these experiences. When you've made complete peace with yourself, when you've processed all the drama, trauma, panorama, and you get to paint anew, and some of the things, they're already there. Right? So if somebody told you, something bad about you in the past and wanted to hurt you, you really need to look at the source of that information. First of all, usually it's coming from a person who doesn't have their life together. Parenthesis closed. But the thing is, when you're completely in sync with yourself, when you're your number one cheerleader and fan, you offer yourself these experiences with parallel realities like left and right, okay? And it is only with parallel realities, right? The time jumps, the parallel timeline jumps and the parallel reality jumps that you offer yourself such a distinct change that you literally are incredulous at that moment, okay? It really is a lot of fun, guys. Like, this is how you create magic and miracles in your life. But it only happens when you've made peace with the past. Do you get to jump around with the parallel realities and parallel timelines? And do you get to create parallel versions in your existence of other people, okay? Which is why dedicating entire channels to narcissists is like beating the drum of that fucking problem till the end of motherfucking time. Haven't you had enough of this? Oh, I'm a survivor of 25 years of narcissists. Oh my fucking god. Would you like a star on your chest or some kind of like a ribbon or some shit? Like, really? Oh, you mean this is how long you've been talking about it? Holy shit, bananas. Oh my fucking god. I think the conversation should go like this. Ready? This person was a narcissist. I've clearly recognized this. End of story. I need to go back and examine how did I manifest this narcissist. Clearly something may be out of alignment. But most importantly, will I never encounter another narcissist? No, probably not. Okay, they're kind of like everywhere, right? But the thing is, am I going to get emotionally involved with this bullshit? No. And thus, I don't get affected with any of that bullshit. I don't continue the conversation with them. It literally truly, I am indifferent. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. If you can reach a point, whatever your trauma panorama is right now, if you can reach a point of, I don't give a shit, it literally doesn't stir me in any kind of capacity right now. This person can act stupid and stand on their own head a million times over, do whatever crazy shit they do. It literally does not affect me. You're home free. But essentially, the parallel realities, okay, how you jump parallel realities, you already know that. I'm not going to discuss this here. But you give yourself permission to exist in the ultimate reality when you've parted with that shit that you used to believe about yourself. And thus mirroring back to yourself the ultimate reality that you want to experience, the fairy tale, just like I discussed in the last audio. This is key to understand. There is no fairy tale if you don't address the big picture. The big picture is what? The kind of, again, emotional quality that you carry into your existence day in and day out. The kinds of emotions that rise up within you when you're talking about relationships. Like right now that I said relationships, how does it feel, right? If I say money, if I say a lot of money, how does it feel? If I say health, if I say whatever the fuck, do you have fear? Do you have complete stability, which is ultimately what you're going for? Okay, this is the kind of situation that allows you to then experience a different reality, which you're constantly jumping anyway. But I'm talking about the ultimate reality, which will mirror back to you an entirely different shebang. Okay, and you create that reality on the inside. Again, nobody's going to tell you what to think. Nobody's going to tell you how to do it except for me. If I'm your coach, that is. Okay. But you're the only decider, and you decide what to attribute importance to after you have cleansed yourself of this bullshit. It's kind of like, you're coming out of a very dirty river full of shit. Okay. You need to take a shower first and then decide what kinds of clothes to put on, okay? Is it going to be this designer or that designer? Is it going to be custom made? Is it going to be this dress or that suit? And ba-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, right? But without it, it's kind of like you're putting on very nicely designed clothes on a very dirty, skin. And that doesn't work, has never worked, will never work. If you can honestly get up in the morning, every single morning, and honestly say to yourself, today I am brand new and I feel this way and that way about these things that really matter to me, that, like I said, you're home free. And you're indifferent towards the things that might come up, even though in the past you used to react like, oh my fucking God, this is so annoying. You're home free. Because now your radar is set only on the things that you really prefer. And that's a way stronger vibration than any kind of shit show version of a person and this, that, and the other. You're so rooted in what you want to experience, like a Central Park oak tree, that it's like forever. It's total for eternity, okay? This kind of feeling where it's like you can do whatever, you can say whatever you want, you can do whatever you want. I still know my truth. And this is why you need to really get to know who you really are, the golden Buddha, and then expect the good reflection from the mirror. But right now, chances are, again, you're acting like somebody else, like an unworthy person, this, that, and the other, like a poor person financially, like a person who worries about money, like a person who doesn't deserve the husband and the kids and blah, 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 whatever it is you're after, the company, the whatever, and etc., their own business, and you're wondering why you get this reflection. It's exactly what you ordered. The universe never makes any mistakes. So if any of this resonated, all of my information is below. If you need to book an hour, like I said, you can do so. But ultimately, I do recommend you sign up for coaching and spend at least 2 to 3 months with me. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.